Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Those of you on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. On Spotify, I'm TK34. Yes, and welcome to Biblical Marriage Wednesday. Yes, today we're going to talk about the Song of Solomon. We're going to get into the Song of Solomon. I mean, some of you need a little bit of romance. And some of you, even you single guys, you need some romance. You need to think about things. It's not really that you say these things word for word, but that you think about them. But first, let us pray. Oh, most holy, I am that I am. We ask you to deal with us according to your loving kindness and your mercy. And we ask you to deal with us, excuse me, that we might be that husband or that suitor, that one that calls upon one to even be the wife that we're desiring. Yes, and we ask you to deal with our minds and our hearts, that we could be that way all our lives, throughout our whole relationship with the woman or the women that we should marry. Yes, and that the woman, that she should feel engulfed by the things that we have to say, even our romantic side that she just loves. Yes. Now, there's different, excuse me, there are different types of romance. I mean, there's romantic, some guys are rough, some guys are very smooth, and some guys are just plain and seem lame to you, but they might be romantic to someone else. Yes. But the fact is, guys, don't think that your romantic side is lame or that is wrong. When you're calling on someone or you're trying to romance them, even unto marriage, to just give them that first thought of you, just to give them that, that first glimpse, that every time they think about it, they just go, Yes. We're in Song of Solomon, chapter 1. Now, this is said that this love for a Shunammite girl, a young girl Solomon had in mind. Very dark-skinned people were they. Now, we're going to go with verse 1. The Songs of Solomon, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. This woman is really thinking about, you think about wine. Wine will make your heart merry. It will make you at peace. It would cause you to be, laid back, like, So they compare it to different things. This is not like Western thinking. Now, because of the savor of thy good ointments, thy name is as an ointment poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love thee. In other words, to her, Solomon was like, his name, just, something like that, however you would think. We know our minds are just so into Western thought. We forget about that there are other forms of thought of romance that are in the world and not necessarily that which we have. We all, what's up? And then the other one say, what's up? Now, there's other forms of romance, and other ones like, yay, it's happening. Sometimes some people only share two words, and that's romantic to them. But here she go again in verse 5. She says, I am black. She says, I'm black. That would mean the blackness of a horse is called shikar in the, gibberish language. But anyway. But comely, but I look good. That's what she's saying. That's what he's saying. I'm good. O ye daughters of Jerusalem. In other words, just because I'm black, don't think just because you got a lighter hue than I do. But I'm good. I'm black. I'm beautiful. Yes. Now, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon, they were black. Now, Solomon was a cool dude. He had many, many wives. This guy was what we would call a player. This guy, but he did it right. He did it according to the word of the Most High, but he overdid it because he had too many wives, according to the word of the Most High. She says in verse 6, look not upon me because I am black, I am dark. I mean, if you've seen some of those on the continent that are real dark, that they're very dark, but they're just beautiful. Yes, just beautiful. I mean, you've heard of the color code where it has the lighter skin, or should I say the white skin, all the way down to Naomi Campbell. But I think that the black skin should be up at top, and then it should go all the way down to the light or albino. This is where it should be, but you live in a different society where their beauty standard is different, you know? And she said, I'm black but comely of the daughters of Jerusalem as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun has looked upon me, and my mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. In other words, she had to go dress the grapes. But my own vineyard have I kept not. In other words, she had her vineyards and they had vineyards. These were wealthy people. And verse 7, she says, tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth. She's talking to Solomon. Where thou feedest, where thou makest thy flock to rest at noon, for why should I be as one that turneth aside by the flocks of thy companions? In other words, the other wives. You know, the wives had jobs, they had things that they do. They weren't just laying around the harem just doing nothing. And she said, if thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way. This is what Solomon's saying. Forth by the footsteps of the flock and feed thy kids. These are baby goats, yes, beside the shepherd's tent. In other words, you go feed the goats. You go feed the baby goats, okay? You give them something to drink. For I have compared thee, O my love, to a company of horses in Pharaoh's chariots. Oh, she said, now, Pharaoh, he did have some good-looking horses. He had horses that were dressed up. Now, thy cheeks are comely. Thy rows of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. He's talking about her whole facial feature. This woman had gold on her neck. She had beautiful cheeks. To be so black, I mean, she had beautiful cheeks, you know, with rows of jewels. And their neck with chains of gold. Some of them wore gold as a headpiece. Now it says in verse 11, I'm sorry. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver. And while the king sitteth at his table, my spikenard sendeth forth the smell thereof. In other words, you're thinking some wild things. You know, this woman is, or this whatever, this person is you so into them that there's some things that according to your thought pattern, you're saying, oh man, she is so beautiful. She smells good. I mean, look at how she dressed. She dressed good. We ain't talking about like no 304. We talking about even in a plain old dress, she's fit. I mean, she's smart. She knows what to do and how to do it. Yes, and she does it right. And it said, a bundle of myrrh is my well. My myrrh smells pretty good unto me. He shall lie all night betwixt my breath. Now she's thinking about Solomon. To these women, Solomon was a pretty dude. You know, he was, you know, although he had much money, to them, whether it was the money or whatever, it made him pretty. Okay? Now, my beloved is unto me as cluster of camphor, and in the vineyards of Engedi. Yes, Engedi. And she says now, she's really infatuated with Solomon. And behold, thou art fair, my love. This is what Solomon is saying. Thou art fair, thou hast dove's eyes. In other words, this woman to him was beautiful. I mean, this black woman, black as the night, just beautiful. And so, you know, this is how you have to see a potential mate or your mate. They have to be beautiful in your eyes. It's always a maintenance on that every day, a maintenance. Not with makeup, but with a smile, with a clean face, with, you know, not weird set hair, but hair that is combed and, you know, dressed every day. You know, and you the man, you know, you put on a shirt and some shoes and, you know, just don't lounge around every day in all kind of, you know, dungarees and all. And if you're doing a yard, that's a whole different thing. But as far as, you know, just being there and, you know, sitting back in your easy chair and, looking at television or something, a nice, comfortable shirt, and just looking real nice to your wife. Yes, and those of you who don't have a wife, looking real nice as you go outside, that these women see you as, hey, oh, he's so handsome, he smells so good. Yes. And he says, Solomon looks, he said, y'all, you are fair. He said, you have eyes, dove's eyes. And she said, behold, thou art fair, my beloved. Yeah, pleasant. Also our bed is green. And beams of our house are cedar. You know what? The house smelled good. Cedar is a good smell. And our rafters are fir. So everything smelled good. When things smell good, they're clean. And I mean, things are just, flowing in the home or whatever. I mean, it calls for a get together of that man and that woman. I ain't talking about the others. I'm just talking about that man and that woman. And yes, this is what kind of atmosphere you're trying to keep each and every day. Because there are many distractions in relationship. There are many distractions, and people can get so carried away that the distraction is not better than what they have. So we have to really think about it. What is distracting me today? What man or what woman is trying to distract me from what I have, or they don't care, or they have no clue that I have something good, that is beautiful, that it's nice, and sometimes you have to be downright mean. Are you married? Yes, I am, thank you. And how are you? Good. Bye. All right. Now, I don't dwell on those things because there's spirits behind flirting. Really, there are a lot of, when you flirt with other people, there's a lot of spirits behind it that will get you to see something that's not as good as what you have, but it might look or smell in a certain way that attracts you, but it's not good for you. Yes. So you have to think about what you were given. What you were given fits you. That man or that woman, they fit you. Now, sometimes we can marry folks that don't fit us right, and eventually it winds up to something that we don't need. And then sometimes people change because they have been deceived by the enemy. See, we can't just say she was a 3 or 4, or he was a 3 or 4. It could have been they could have lasted a long time, and then all of a sudden they changed because they've been deceived by the enemy to want something they deem is better. Now, this is how Satan, even the Satans, because he's not singular, he's plural, can manipulate homes and divide families, even countries. And with that, I'm going to say peace.